It's a miracle. It really is a modern-day miracle.
A community garden helping recent converts connect with a new culture, the project that grew out of prayer, fasting, and faith.
When you go through something like this in your life, that it pulls you closer to God.
Hope and gratitude sustain a young Salt Lake City woman as she battles terminal cancer, how her testimony of God gives her the strength to endure. And meet the master behind the artwork. We'll talk with artist and author Chad Hawkins, catch his passion for temple history. That's all today on Mormon Times. Good morning and welcome to Mormon Times on this Sunday. I'm Kathy Aiken. Tucked away in a South Salt Lake City neighborhood is a garden, a beautiful stretch of rich soil, ripe vegetables, and thriving plants. But the plot is the result of more than just hardworking hands. As Mormon Times correspondent Brooke Walker tells us, this garden grew out of prayer, out of fasting, and out of faith.
Well, I've lived here for 60 years.
An Idaho girl at heart, Martha Carlson has always appreciated open space.
I like being outside. I like watering. I like weeding. I like to work in the garden.
But when her husband passed away 24 years ago, she took on full responsibility for her own yard and the vacant lot out back.
It's a big job, a lot of hard work.
And this spring, a hard reality.
It dawned on me I couldn't do it anymore. It just was too much.
After years of work and careful care, Martha felt overwhelmed at the thought of planting and plotting yet another year. So she prayed.
I just said, Heavenly Father, I can't do this anymore.
Nearby, church leaders were saying prayers of their own. The Columbus branch is an LDS congregation of approximately 220 people, made up of Karen, Karenni, Chin, and Burmese refugees, many of whom have spent most of their lives in refugee camps in Thailand, most new converts, and most grasping to connect to a new culture.
When we formed this branch a year ago on June 14th, immediately we realized we needed to reconnect them with the earth.
Michael Nebeker is the second counselor in the Columbus branch presidency. Having lived in Thailand, he knows firsthand the connection these people have with the earth. He and other leaders recognized their members' love and need for fresh food. A simple solution was a community-sponsored garden. The difficult question was where.
We took it on as a branch presidency and as a branch as a matter of fasting and prayer, literally, to try to find the right location for these people that had water and had a lot of sunshine.
I had never heard anything about a community garden.
Newly called Young Men's president, Dallin Cromer immediately thought of his next-door neighbor, Martha Carlson.
So I came over and talked to Martha after church that day, and she came over and she was like, it'd be a blessing to me if you could come and use this.
With ground to till, they needed a teacher.
There's some weeds right in here.
Enter Bob Roylance.
They knew that I had a little bit of experience in that, and so I said, okay.
By a little bit of experience, he means 40 years of work with the church's farming systems.
I came out and looked at this ground and I said, wow, you can't go wrong with this kind of soil. And when you got artesian water, you know, we were truly blessed.
And blessings continued to pour in. A local business donated a tractor. Irrigation companies pitched in with equipment. And the list goes on.
God has provided almost everything we have needed, including the rain and the sunshine.
Is this a miracle?
It's a miracle. It really is a modern-day miracle.
A modern-day miracle that plays out in many ways and in many lives.
I just feel the Lord has had a hand in it, you know, not only in helping me, but helping these refugees too.
Brooke Walker joins us now to share more about the story. And Brooke, it was amazing how many different people had to come together to make this all work.
Yeah, so many stories combining. And the word that kept popping up during our interviews and our conversations with the folks who were involved in the garden is miracle. You know, it's more of a practical miracle. And I think that was a lesson I took away. Oftentimes when things of practical nature happen, you think, oh, it's luck, it's coincidence, or it's just common sense. But just because it was a practical miracle doesn't make it any less of a powerful one.
Yeah, practical miracle. I love that, the way you put that. It also became, I guess, a home away from home for many of these refugees.
Absolutely. I mean, home away from home is the perfect way to describe it. These people came from, I mean, they're people of the earth. They came from the most plush, lush, green, and thriving land. And they found themselves, you know, once they moved, they found themselves in the middle of gray concrete and urban landscape. And so to have a garden rich with soil and that green growth all around them really took them home. Church leaders told me that there would be, on any given night during the summer months, you could go to the garden and see people gathered, you know, circled up, holding hands, singing, talking, just connecting with that culture and with that land that they miss so much.
Yeah, that would be hard to be so far away from home and not have that. What was, I'm sure there were several blessings, Brooke, but what did you find was the biggest blessing that came from all of this?
Probably the biggest blessing was that connection that I was just talking about, the connection they were able to form with the earth and with the garden. It really became a refuge in and of itself, but also there were blessings of resource, you know, fresh food. They were anxious to have fresh food. They told me the chilies were their favorite crop to harvest come harvest time this late summer and fall. And you know, the Boy Scouts were actually able to gain financially as well. They were able to sell some of the produce from the community garden and use that money, use those finances to attend scout camp earlier this summer. So a myriad of blessings.
Yeah,
all
it helped
around.
a lot of people, didn't it?
Yeah.
Now, Martha's once quiet backyard, no longer quiet. What does Martha think of all this right now?
Not at all. You know what? She loves it. She's thrilled. She told me she'll go out there on evenings and just watch them work, watch them laugh, watch them enjoy. And she's, I think, a little still stunned about how it all came together because it happened fairly quickly in terms of a timeline. But she's thrilled and grateful they were able to use it, grateful they were able to help her out. And she shared with me that she thinks her late husband would be very pleased at how everything played out and how the garden was able to be tended for.
And it all happened with her one simple prayer. Brooke Walker, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Kathy.
Coming up next, a woman keeping the faith despite a terminal diagnosis.
If it's my time to go, then it's my time to go. But hopefully, you know, but I also believe in miracles too.
How newlywed Sarah Schertz finds peace through the pain.